this. And if other people are willing to step up and volunteer for our live stream, that would be really lovely. So we don't always have the same person doing it. But I'm really grateful for Mary holding this. It's really hard for me to host and also film, stream, also be the administrator. Like I do all these different roles, and then people are like, why are you so burned out? And I'm like, the hats, there's so many hats. So thank you, Mary, for holding this today.
Like wearing 3 pairs of glasses at the same time.
Pretty much, or 20. I'm like switching the glasses repeatedly and being like, lenses. There so many lenses. Cool. Okay. So exploration. You are all explorers, and you all know that to some degree. So instead of explorers, you are explorers, and we're going to go on an exploration today of concerns. Explorers.
Okay.
Yes. So whether you are actually feeling concerned about that or not, just checking first with your body, your emotions, even sometimes how I will check for that synchronicity is I look at my belly or put my hands on my belly and I check my breathing. And if my breathing is not kind of slow and measured, because I'm in a seated state, right? So if my body was really congruent to my seated state, it would be just like chilling out like it's under a tree in a meadow or in a cozy space in a meadow like we were just in for our Mani celebration. If it's catching itself at all, if it's freezing in that cycle, or if it's shorter, like maybe I'm breathing a little faster, that's a flag for me that there's some emotions maybe going on. And I just haven't been tuning into those. And so then I get to ask myself, where in my body are those emotions living? And can I feel more about them? Do they have colors to them? Do they have flavors? Are they residual from something else? And so this is a time before we dive into understanding concern that we get to just name what we are bringing to our circle right now, how we are feeling, and just one emotion or one metaphor. When we did this a long time ago, for a while, we would talk about this like, pretend that I'm an alien who has never heard about the thing that you're feeling before. And so describe it to me in a way that I can understand it if I've never felt what you're feeling. So colors or metaphors or the size of it. You can even switch avatars if you have an avatar that really embodies how you're feeling right now. Yes, and we have raise hand emojis. Mary?
Yeah, I have mine ready. We're ready to start.
Go for it, please.
Yeah. So I'm actually feeling some muscle aches that I've only just noticed, and so I'm feeling concerned about that. Hoping that they don't become aggravated or anything. So with that, I feel like with my breath, I feel like it's more limited. Like I can't breathe in as deeply and I can't breathe out as deeply as I would like to.
Yeah.
That's how I'm feeling.
Yeah. Thank you. So muscle aches. Is there any particular place on your body you're noticing them?
Yeah, shoulders mostly.
Shoulders, yeah. Same here, actually, between my shoulder blades. I can feel that. And you're feeling concern.
Yep. So fitting for this month.
Welcome, concern. Who else?
Is it circle style? My turn.
Circle, yes. It'll be Scott.
I think concern is when you anticipate something coming that could be a problem or something you just really don't look forward to dealing with. And it's like a feeling in the body of tension, tight muscles, and it can manifest in the brow and in clenching, your jaw in anticipation. But it's a lighter feeling than like anxiety or fear. It's like the precursor to those things.
Yeah, when you said that, I got a metaphor of almost being at a train station and going like, do I want this train to come? Is it a monster train?
Yeah, you're kind of figuring out whether or not to get on.
Bend. That's an amazing definition, Scott. And what are you feeling in your body right now? How are you? You can have any ick emotion to start.
All body feeling? I'm not sure. I think I've been holding it for so long, it's like it's not registering.
I feel concerned hearing that. Is there somewhere your body would rather be right now that would feel like a relief or good for you?
No, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. Just kind of accepting it, acceptance.
So maybe some confusion of what you're feeling.
Yeah, like I've tried like so many things, and I'm just wondering if like I should use the energy to just accept it instead of try to escape.
So more intense emotion, it sounds like, than confusion, like a pressure, concern of something bigger, always there.
Yeah, like reluctant adjustment.
Yeah. Thank you for checking in. If you get more details on that emotion, or if there's a way to take care of your body and your heart today, I hope you'll check in again and let us know what is pulling you that you can say yes to in your body.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's uncomfortable, but if I do make some progress, thanks for the reminder to share.
Please, definitely. Yeah. Leaky, what is your ick emotion you're checking in with?
Oh, he's frowning.
Sad face.
I definitely, I think I feel worried. So I was just telling Bro Fedora, I'm basically at a point where I'm deciding whether or not I'm going to renew my lease at like the current rent prices. That's like a pretty big jump. And just concern around that because I think I can choose to accept it, but there's this worry of like trusting myself over the next year to still be able to like maintain where I'm at. So I've been wrestling with that today, and I'll think more on it later. Then I realized, oh, it's Festival of Concern. I feel like it's the perfect time to show up because I am genuinely concerned about that. So yeah.
Wow. As you were talking, I felt this thickness in my belly. It was like I ate an entire meatloaf or something. It's just sitting in there in the shape of a meatloaf. And I'm just like, will I digest this? Will it go through? But it's heavy and it's kind of like, oh, this could be such a really bad, like, indigestion moment for like a year. Yeah.
Yeah, anytime I feel these sorts of emotions, I feel them manifest in like my chest, especially. It feels like this like a genuine weight that gets put there.
Yeah. 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 Concern is to me, it feels like a safe emotion as an idea, especially if we think about the dot model and the bigger emotions. But then when I'm in it, I'm just like, whoa, my entire world is feeling concerning. It takes over every bit of the landscape very quickly, even though it's a more mild, outward manifested emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like a inward misery. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that very real life example of concern. Okay. Fedor.
Yeah, I like everyone had said, it's yeah, I tend to feel anxious when I feel like I'm concerned. It feels like there's at least still some level of control, though, of my understanding of how the dot model, concern being like the first stage of this hero track, this fixed track to catch something that you're feeling like is going to go wrong, that looking into the future and predicting and remembering the patterns of past experiences of, well, that just happened. That means many other things could happen that could get really bad. I think concern being that early stage of noticing it, like maybe someone said something and you're like, did they mean that? And there is a concern that arises that, fills your chest, your stomach, and this it's not quite at worry yet. Worry is, I think, what we're really familiar with when things get, very concerning. Worry is just the next stage. And yeah, for things I'm concerned about it right now, it's like I've got this abdomen issue, stomach issue that's sort of, it's been, if anyone's following the stream, I brought it up in the weekly meeting like last night, that it's like my medication was just dropped because prior authorization is not there anymore. Who knows if it was canceled or expired? It's just, now I'm, dealing with those issues because it's like the doctor messed up, or most likely the insurance messed up. But it's also frustrating where it's like on a Friday and it's like, well, no one's going to be even starting the process of solving this until Monday. And it's concerning that things could get worse. Right now, it's okay. Nothing is outright at a worrying state. So I would say it definitely fits the emotion really well. And I'm, imagining that it could get worse, but it can also be fixed pretty soon too. Once they order the medication, it'll be like shipped as fast as they can go, I'm pretty sure. And then at that point, I'll be back to normal. And that's, another possibility. So concern, I think, is, we tend to fixate on the problems and the fear. It's going to get bad, it's going to get worse. But, recognizing that first step, it can be, but it can also go better. So.
Yeah, thank you, Fro. Another very real example of, it feels like the simmer, you're in the simmer period and you're like, that's not boiling. There's no bubbles exactly popping there, but it could boil. And you're just kind of letting it simmer and kind of trying to coast through until things can be resolved. But I just want to honor that, there's that statement, the only thing to fear is fear itself, is kind of like a mind pretzel loop, right? Like, oh, okay, I should be afraid of fear. Well, I'm definitely feeling fear about how afraid of fear I am. And I'm getting more and more fearful about fear. And I'm just in this loop, right? And concern could be the same thing, of like, even by talking about concern, our cortisol levels probably just rose a notch, right? We're feeling all the flavors of each other's concern in a mind pretzel, yes. And so what that could be doing is starting to cycle this energy between us, right? And like woe is the next person to pop into the world, because we're going to be like, are you okay? Where are we going to put our concern energy? So
Just
I
run
really
up to
want
them, shaking them by the shoulders, going,
I'm
help!
worried about you. Exactly. We're going to pounce on somebody with so much concern. So I want you to imagine that you have control today with your emotion of concern. And sometimes that emotion may be resting inside your body, but also just like the cute little like attachment creatures that some of people have in here with their avatars. Imagine that your concern can be an attachment creature today, and that it can fly next to you and tell you about itself, but it does not necessarily have to live in you today. And that those creatures don't necessarily get to become a super creature today, unless we want to have them have a play date and see how many of us pop into panic symptoms. So, realizing that concern can be contagious. This is actually, I believe, part of how toxic positivity continues to flourish in many settings. We don't want to worry each other. We don't want to create an air of concern. And so we try to keep that emotion as quarantined as we can. But then what happens is we lose the chance to tell the truth about ourselves and grow relationship that can last through storms. So, we were testing Armani's world last night, and then Mary said goodnight, and I invited some people in to test it with me while I was in Quest, and somebody sat down with me and just said, will you sit on the ground with me? And they said, I'm concerned about you. Tell me how you are. And it was a moment, where I'm looking at the tornado and I'm feeling somebody be concerned about me, and it was reminding me about this word at a different level of how we can use this word to pause people, to ask people to land and to hold space for them. And so maybe what we can do is be concerned about our concern, and want today as a healthcare checkup for our concern as a creature to really optimize its flag level. Without concern, none of us would be here. This is the first flag signal in our bodies, in our DNA, to tell us danger was on the horizon. And it has worked well enough that we all exist as humans in this digital space. So we get to be grateful for this as a primal reflex, to just feel like the air has changed, something shifted, and we're noting a mild sense of dread, a mild sense of, something's here. For just the continuity of not just thinking about it or seeing it in our bodies, but actually maybe getting to see it briefly as in an animation. Why don't we go over to the other room and look at that? I'm gonna get my body up. And all of your jobs today is just to keep reflecting as much as you can on the outside of you, what your body states are doing, how they're changing, what reflections are coming to you to learn about concern for yourself. And then at the end of our journey, we're going to just kind of gather those. What did you learn? This is a time of growing in our own journey to make new relationship with these parts of us that have kind of had free reign over us this entire time. But now we get to make contracts with our emotions.
Whoa, I've never got to actually be here in VR.
Oh, you haven't been here. Oh, yay. I'm glad you're here. Shout out to Nimsy, who may actually drop in today, who would like to meet Frofredor, and vice versa.
Oh, yeah, meaning to want to say hi.
Yeah, and Leaky, you got to see this on film and some clips, but you never got to be in here, so welcome.
Yeah. It's very calming.
I know, I feel like I've been wanting to study this a bit. I'm in the process of maybe making a more up-to-date one, or at least my own version.
A next level of it, yeah.
Yeah, could be complicated.
So I'm just going to do the very first piece of the first part, and this world only explores the deepen part. But again, this is not for you to be vicariously like kind of watching. This is, you are a teacher of this as much as me. I've talked about this emotion more than probably most human beings on this planet. We're just going to look at how it might build for you. And what we're doing with conflict resiliency is we're deepening into the place that we want to run away from. We're actually practicing a type of trust with our bodies and our nervous systems and our emotions to say, you are welcome here. We can make space for you, and we can learn where this place of not enoughness begins inside of us. So, some of you have heard me say this before. I'm going to move a little more efficiently through some of these opening pieces, but this part is to symbolize and help us remember that emotions of conflict start before we even take our first breath. So you're not breathing wrong. This happened before you were even born, where we start to create reactions and preferences. What do we not like and we want to push away? And what soothes us, what calms us, what makes us feel like we can float and be calm. How it gets very complicated when we become full adults. And the fear is very real. And that heartbeat is really intense. And so this fear is from a place of scarcity inside our core, a sense that we're lacking what we need. And we have stories we tell about that fear through culture. We have our villain and victim stories. We have our hero and bystander stories. And then we also have the reflexes of how do we behave when we start to tell ourselves these stories. So the villain is in fight mode, the victim's in fight mode, hero is in fix, bystander's in freeze. So for just a moment before we look at concern, because this is kind of the setup, we're baking a cake. I just got all the ingredients out. If you'd like, and you're welcome to not do this if you don't, but try putting yourself in one of the corners on here. Saw somebody using this instance last night with their group, and they were all standing inside this, just talking to each other from different directions. And I was like, whoa.
Oh, this was last night.
Yeah. Pride VR had an open instance in here, just sharing and hanging out. So what emotions, what axis do you think that you're stuck on if you were a fly and you were feeling stuck somewhere? So Mary and Scott are in bystander, okay? Perfidor's in target. Let me see where I am. I'm probably somewhere up here, feeling like I gotta fix everything. Look at that. Leaky's thinking about this. Do you feel like you're both sleeping?
Feedback through your mic. It's getting
This was happening last night. Yeah, that's really interesting. In here specifically, there's something funky about the audio, where there's an echoing loop.
There's a space in fight if you wanna be brave.
There's an opening if you'd like to take on an archetype, Leaky.
If you wanna be brave.
I will be the bully.
No.
And Profidor's like, I don't like this choice. I'm over here. Okay. So, as you can tell, we could do a whole game with this, but beginning for this direction is that sense of frustration. For this direction is that sense of irritation, and that begins to loop. So if you were going to act those emotions out, this is where you might be getting a little closer in your bodies together and starting to like make the sounds or cross your arms. But this is the emotion we're focusing on today, which is like, uh-oh, something's wrong. And this is an activation of the need inside of us to make it better. And sometimes feeling concern is a prequel for May. Next month, we will be looking at confusion. But those two are family members of each other. They hold two different sides to the same coin. So, looking at where concern lives in relationship to these other emotions, what do you notice? Where for you?
I'm trying to picture like an interaction between two people where one is feeling concern about the other and the other's feeling confusion.
Mm-hmm. This is where I've often told the stories of working with couples who used to sit on my couch, and one person has dragged the other person in of going, something's wrong with our relationship. And I'd look at the other person and I'd be like, how do you feel about that? And they'd be like, I don't know what they're talking about. I think we're fine. And then sometimes they would learn this model and they would go, oh my God, that is a decade of my life is just between something's wrong with what's happening right now. And the other person going, I don't know what you're talking about. I think that's true.
You reminded me of this time I lost a lot of weight, and my mum was concerned because she couldn't believe that it was just from exercising and eating less. She thought I'd
you were sick?
taken a drug or something.
Exactly. When we see big changes in people, if we're holding that place of scarcity, we can see it as illness. Or we can toxic positivity that and be like, whoa, you're getting healthy. And then it might be illness, and that's also a problem, right? So it's a way that we start to tell ourselves stories and try to match up what is true. Is it like standing from the corners that you picked, looking at the emotions? You have a role to play. What if you switch directions?
Where I'm looking, you're my hero.
Ta-da! Except I'm up here. I can put you into a place of helplessness. Go ahead.
For the technical issue, do you have speakers on in your room?
This is specifically happening in this world only, and then it doesn't happen in others. Put myself on mute so you all can talk.
Okay. Yeah, it's just distracting to hear myself.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, from this side, I don't know. I tend to feel like I've been here quite a lot in my life. And it's a tough feeling, but it's I don't know how to not digress off to a different subject entirely, because I know this is a whole different axis for what we're learning about.
But
yeah, this one's tough.
I can definitely see this as like, I think a lot of people could be in the middle of the villain and the hero based on the concern and frustration, because there's definitely times where when it's somebody you care about and like you may feel certain emotions about like how you can help them or like a situation they're in, I definitely know it can be easy to manifest frustration along with concern, where it's like, you know, you're making the wrong decisions for yourself. I love you. Stop doing this or whatever, you know? So I could definitely see these two going hand in hand a lot.
I was actually thinking not long ago about when I feel confusion generally around programming. Sometimes it leads into frustration as well, and possibly even anger, which is usually because what I'm feeling is responsibility to have known better. Like if there was some bug in some code, and I'm confused about why it's not working. If I also feel like I'm responsible for it and that it should have been fixed already, then I feel both of these at the same time.
Yeah, thank you. Scott, you got some concerning things to share.
I think I flip between the two states, like fix and freeze. But I think I'm having to own a little bit of the villain, which maybe I've known for a long time, but just haven't had like the courage to own it. Because what happens for me is I get in this mode until I reach exhaustion, and then I flip to this mode, and then when people come to me as the fixer, I turn into the villain until I've recovered back to this. So I'm like running in a circle.
Yeah,
And
I see that.
I'm sort of here right now where if you contact me, you roll the dice. And I trust myself to get back to here, but I don't know, it's weird. This time it feels different. It's like, I don't know, like if there was a train coming at me, I might be concerned, but I also just might let it hit me. I'm sort of like, there's this new like give up part of it that I'm not used to. Like I still like have this trust that there's a path like out, but maybe it always feels like this, because I know for me emotions you're only able to understand them as you experience them. Like once you've experienced a new emotion, it's like the truth of the old emotion is hard to reach again. So
oh yes,
maybe I don't usually communicate when I'm here. So I'm just confused on how to articulate it.
It's like trying to see the horizon when there's buildings around you, like you're surrounded by skyscrapers, you can't see anything except where you are right now.
Yeah, it's obscured.
Wow, thank you, Scott. That's so rich, and I'm noticing it sounds like the one that you don't end up in is this direction, which is like being irritated with all of it and feeling that sense of, ugh, why doesn't everything just stop already? Like,
I'm like a car like without third gear.
you don't take on the like
Third.
I need to run away now. Yeah. Oh. Thank you for those observations. Yeah. And so realizing what you default to, maybe where you get pegged by somebody in that archetype and vice versa. One of the exercises, so that we're not just sinking into the hard emotions, is to try the other side of it. So whatever emotion you or archetype you just picked, try standing on the other side of it and just looking at everything from that direction and feeling the place you haven't visited very often. And what's it like to stand over here and imagine feeling whatever emotion begins this loop?
I guess I could go, how dare you put me here? That's kind of an irritated judgment position, right?
Yeah. I tricked you.
Mm.
Now you're in fix it.
Yeah, I think I'd be absolutely terrified to ever find myself in this role by accident. If this was to unfold in any situation, I would, if it was like told that this is where I'm at, I would just be like, oh God, what has happened to me? Like, I would probably flip right back to another side. I would hope to always avoid this at all costs, but it doesn't mean I can't be in this role. And I mean, I do get frustrated with people at sometimes, but there's that sense of, I feel like I'm more towards the hero side, because like I can only get angry if there's a good reason, but to them I might not make sense like that, so they would see me as a villain probably. I think this is a very hard role to be capable of understanding you're in it, because you can only really see the ramifications of it afterwards. You're probably causing some pain or suffering, and it's only with either reflection or being called out that you would be conscious enough to realize that's what happened. And if anyone is in this position purposefully, I would imagine there is some level of like deep lack of empathy, or they're probably closer to what they think is a hero. I don't know if anyone would be a villain on purpose to cause suffering for no other reason other than maybe their own enjoyment, which at that point, that's maybe even something else.
Like trolling?
Like trolling? I mean, yeah, maybe.
I was
See,
thinking
that's how
about...
disconnected I am. It's like I forgot about trolling. It's like, wait, people do that, right? Of course.
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually thinking about an idea. I don't know if this works or not, but an idea of if I'm feeling in fight mode, trying to lean more into like stewardship as a kind of antidote to that, to try and push me back into curiosity. Like, how do I serve and protect with this fire inside me?
Yeah, that's such a lovely question. And someday my hope is, even at this level of this model, we can have another animation onto it of like, these are currents of energy, right? And you can jump back and forth between them. But at every level of this, we can bypass out of them and start to alchemize these emotions into a place in the center, basically. By owning that I am a villain, I am a victim, I am a hero, and I am a bystander, and feeling the situations where that is most likely true for not just me, but others, I can actually start to bring all those emotions back into my core and almost catalyze them into something more. Something that flows with me instead of just through me. Yeah. It's a practiced exercise. We're doing these one emotion at a time. But the spark really begins when we start to realize they combine. We can feel 2 emotions at once. We can feel 4 emotions at once. And how to do that as more than a mental exercise, how to notice those constellations in our minds and our bodies, start to come from them and see how they can live with each other and see what happens when they're held together. In many ways, I see this as a torus that is twisted. So normally, it would be this donut shape, but scarcity, this little tiny black hole in the center, has sucked in that round circle and twisted it. So there's this constant sense of separateness of, well, if I'm the villain, then I need a victim. And how we start to kind of narrow our eyes at each other and pin each other down into a certain view. This question of how do I take the fire that's growing over here in this frustration, dig some places in the ground and put the fire inside. Indigenous people in some villages, they bury their fire during the day so that they can pull it out at night and it's still all warm and coals, and then they can start a new fire the next day. How do we bring our fire to ground?
Another thought I had was,
how do we?
Sometimes the outwardly expressed emotion on this graph is a way of hiding another one. Like, it could be concern or frustration to hide guilt, because for that person, guilt is harder to contend with than the other ones.
Yeah. I don't want to admit that I messed up, so I'm gonna. And by the way, this is where it gets really uncomfortable. Is once you get better at tracking your emotions, watching how often you might skip these tracks to kind of keep people's motions going on, but not stay with the most uncomfortable place. So I might feel guilt about how I treated somebody on the street on my way home. And then I get in headset and I'm just like, Fro, I've told you 3 times. You're really just not listening to me here. And then Scott, I'm so sick of blah, blah, blah. Like, why haven't you stopped doing that thing? And this is how I can split my emotions off of the deeper one that I have not checked in with my body and faced, and disperse them on you all who maybe were having a fine day. And all of a sudden there's this tag or scratch or something going on. You're like, what's up with Heyo? Like, and Heyu just has not AU'd back into her body yet.
And then eventually the cat gets it.
Exactly. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. The trickle down effect, right? So then the cat knocks something down and it's like, I've told you so many times, I'm going to throw you out and slam the door. And these are ways that we start to move the object of our emotions outside of us in just small and big ways. It can be functional. I mean, I had lots of frustration in here about a year ago, and then somebody who's houseless, who uses our apartment tap to give themselves a shower every morning, was sitting out front. The police came in with billy clubs and they took them out and they were moving towards them. This old indigenous man never heard of fly. And I went out there with all the emotions I had storing up inside and pointed my finger until they all just went away. I talked to them like this the entire time. Oh, go away. This is not appropriate. This person is welcome here. No. And they put their heads down and they looked away from me, and eventually they just started to like slink off to their vehicles and they all left. So that is what that can do sometimes, is we choose to channel it at the right moments and can protect. And I had a whole adrenaline shutdown because I was like, oh my God, I just confronted police officers with billy clubs. Like, what did I just do that for? But yeah, these emotions can be very powerful when practiced carefully.
I was trying to think of the emotion I'm standing in, and I don't feel like I found myself here too many times, but I can think of the feeling I had when I did, because I think the fact that it's in between flight and like freezing up, it's just this deer in the headlights, like complete feeling of just inaction whenever something's like being directed at you. And it's definitely one of the worst feelings. Like, having a way to get out of a situation, I would much prefer to like be over here than ever be at a place where I'm between irritation and confusion and just left like stunned, basically.
It's funny you have the skull on your TV right now, so I don't know if that's referencing anything.
It's also funny that I see a car bed, which is also a beautiful expression of frozen light.
Why is it not sinking? That's funny.
That is odd. Yeah, it says it's on car now.
Figure out what I... Oh yeah, it's a car.
I see.
That wasn't even on purpose. That's wild.
I feel like
red,
that corner...
There we go. I turned you on and off.
Appropriately is like feeling cornered.
Yeah.
What about you, Scott? What's it like to switch places?
Yeah, I'm on mute because I'm fighting the emotions. It's I don't think I have this as an option. Like, I just have no way to get away from.
I guess I'm curious, do you ever feel like anyone's ever targeted you for anything and said you're a problem or you did something bad?
It's not from a long time. That was like from childhood, but I think the imprint is something I have to be conscious of, because you know, everyday situations can sort of hit me like it did when I was younger. And I think I can react in a way that might surprise people. But I just I don't know how flight works. Like, where do you go? How do you escape?
I think, you know, I can kind of relate. I think usually I'm freezing more than running. If anything gets bad enough that makes me literally turn around and book it, that's like extremely terrifying, or I am just like, that's what we have to do right now, because that's how bad things are getting. I can't think of the last time I actually had to run. I mean, perhaps maybe like, oh, I'm too shy to talk to these people, I'm gonna go do something else. That might count as
It could be.
but yeah.
It could be like flight from a responsibility, like someone's telling you to do something and you're like, no, I can't do that. Maybe that's a kind of flight.
Yeah.
I could see it as like backing out of a conversation, or like you know, like, if, let's say, this is like such a specific example, but if I was in some like soul bearing conversation with somebody and then I started to feel attacked, I might, you know, flee from that conversation, but like, oh yeah, you know, it doesn't actually mean that much to me. It's just, you know, I don't actually do X or Y. It's just, yeah, that's so weird. That's so weird. And then I just build up a wall between me and that person and, like, you know, completely flee from that.
Or like being scared of having a certain conversation. So I could definitely see flight being a way to protect yourself from ending up feeling, I don't know, shame or something. If you made a mistake and you don't want to own up to it or something like that.
Thank you. There's so much insight here. This feels like we're really giving the model some like exercise for itself, like to feel through us all the directions that we're speaking of. I also want to honor, Scott, that there's a really soulful and deep grief piece in what you're sharing of It feels like the Mew mouse is acknowledging that they've never gotten to be in flight mode and feel that there is a place to run to find that place to run to know there's a destination that will provide relief from this feeling. And I want to just acknowledge how sad that must feel. And as I heard you say it, I've never had permission to be over here. Where does one go? And that's probably what's underneath a lot of this emotion, is this is the exit door and you don't even look for it anymore. Does that fit?
Yeah, like I'm interested to try to practice it. It still feels like really confusing, but important. It's interesting to see all of these emotions as a balance, and how important it is to have like it as a full spectrum, or you end up leaning somewhere.
Yeah, really well put. Thank you. Exactly. And to author we both have had some experience with, the body keeps the score. I wonder if some of the longing that all of us can lean into as we continue to learn these emotions for ourselves and with each other is, and I'm not sure if it's the same author, but there's another one that's about the trauma response. It might be a different book than The Body Keeps the Score, but by Peter Levine. And they talk about how animals do this thing where when they have been chased and they get somewhere safe, they will tremble in their body, almost like they're going to fall over and faint from a heart attack. They will shake like an earthquake is happening. And they'll do this. I want to say the timeline is between 30 seconds to 2 minutes. And it will look like they're about to kind of die, wilt. I mean, it's very intense. But after they do this body response, they will take a deep breath, sneeze, cough, and shake it off. And then they can go right back to feeding or curl up and take a nap. And since I had exposure to that over the years, I've started to realize like we have shut that down inside of us. Especially most of us have had parents that saw us being sad or scared and took it personally, and so would go, don't be upset, don't be scared, don't be sad. And so now we're in an emotional attachment to their emotions to make them feel better, and we're interrupting our own body process of recovering from a rupture, from a disruption. And so I've had to recondition my body that when I feel that tremble coming on, it's like a shiver, but I know I'm not cold necessarily, is I will make sure that I'm in a space where I can physically shake and nobody's going to try to shut that down in me. And I really, really encourage this as an exercise for yourself. If you feel your body starting to tremble, notice the emotions that come up that tell you I shouldn't feel like this. This is weak. This is not strong. This is harmful. It's not that big of a deal. And let all of those things kind of just rest on the side and let it move through your body. Watch it as it flows. It's kind of amazing, to be honest, like how well the body is at kind of getting the vibration to move through until there's just this kind of like itchy restlessness that comes through. Just want to shake all your bones out. And then the type of breathing that comes from that is just like this deep cloud, heavy cloud landing. And the mind will clear, and it's just like, oh, I'm just here. That's it. I'm just here right now. There's no complex thought for a while there. And sometimes tears may want to come. Sometimes growls may want to come out. It took me a while to get used to. We do that anyways, unconsciously all the time. But letting ourselves like be animal for a moment, let our body unwind what has just happened. And if I'm not around people who can handle that or let my body be where it's at, then I'll do it in my own private space. But missing that wave coming through the body, trying to reset us, it doesn't just evaporate, it just acts. The next time I'm triggered into that space, that compaction has to release for the new one to also release. So now the shaking is going to be more intense and actually come out more anxious, more terrified, and more something. So knowing that the first few times, if you feel that happening, it could feel kind of crazy and really, really intense. Your arms might want to twitch. Just know that that is old layers that are releasing before that more kind of pure loop starts to manifest. Oh, dyslexic, welcome.
Hello,
Nice to see you.
Like always, I've been doing some uni work there.
Mhm.
Hello. How much have I missed?
Hello.
Hi, welcome. Well,
You're wanting
it-
things
Good
over.
discussions.
This is a different event. Yes,
okay,
and
I see.
and you're welcome to stay. We're touring concern.
Which is this emotion right here on this graph.
So if you'd like to stay, do you want to put in your body awareness? How do you know you're feeling concerned? What are the signs?
I don't know. I guess it's usually just gut
Unreal.
feeling. You know? Something. I mean, it depends. It's different types of concern for me. It depends on the context, I guess. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Like, if it's personal concern, like, oh, I'm missing a deadline, that's a very different feeling to, you know, concern for someone else's well-being, you know? So, I don't know, I guess
Yeah.
it depends.
That's a good point. Concern can be in like different parts of the body, depending on the type of concern. Yeah.
Where the object is of our fear, right?
That's
So I'm
interesting.
concerned I've let somebody down versus I'm concerned somebody is going to be let down.
I feel like part of that is because when it's concern for yourself, like a deadline, there's anticipation there, but you know how much time you have to act on it. Whereas when it's concern for someone else, you don't know how much time you have to act.
Oh, yeah.
That's interesting too, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're learning so much. Before we start our world hop, which we have about an hour, no, less. We have about a half hour. Any final reflections of what it's like to stand with these conflict emotions in this very deep space or hard space, depending on how deep you've been. Oh, I just like it's like
Oh.
I feel like I always benefit from these because of what everyone contributes to it. Like everyone has their own perspective, and I always feel like I learn something new from that or grow from it in some way.
Yeah, I feel like every time I learn a bit more about the model, I feel like even just the first deepening step is like still very unintuitive, and as much as it's explained or talked about, it's still like it's like describing like the atmosphere of another planet. Like that, I guess that exists, sure, but the actual reality of like what it means to do that doesn't really feel very like I think the orient part and the transform part make more sense to me than the deepen part. from what I understand about those, from what I've learned. So to go into the body, I think there's a lot more to it than what we've seen here. So the practice of it helps me get better at understanding what that means in the first place.
Your word unintuitive, I look at instinct as what happens when we don't pause in the middle. Instinct is just the automation of these emotions into actions. So there's a lot of people in the world that would say all of these emotions in the middle are made up, they're fictions. All we really are is the actions of fight, flight, fix, freeze. Like these are strong things, and this is all snowflakedom. You know, this is all the things people say to mind control each other, to believe that they are more colorful on the inside than they really are. And yet, what happens when we live our life from the instinct part is we go too fast and we go too slow and go too hard and we go away too often. And so we live a life of a lot of fractured relationships that don't get closure and don't cultivate a growth in us. So intuition comes in when, for me, we pretend that this is the more heady space. So this person says, I think a lot, right? And this is the more action space, right? Both of these are having reactions. And then this is the least action space. But it's also not a sense of choosing to be here. So everybody feels out of control in different ways, like they're in a compulsive sense. Intuition is when we bring both sides together. We bring the instinct and the heart and the emotions.
Going back to the think analogy, this is like, I think, this is you should think, this is I shouldn't have to think, and this is I should have thought.
Yeah, there's a lot of
That's a good one.
Yeah. And so the I starts here.
Ego.
Yeah. Sense of meanness. If I don't know where I am, how do I relate to you? And so people think that empathy is like something where I feel what you feel. Empathy starts with I feel what I feel. And I imagine what you feel and I find whatever overlaps there and I talk about that overlap.
I think the social part of it is what impacts me the most, because I think experiencing an emotion is such a personal and an internal experience that it's hard to see outside of it. Like your analogy, Reveal, about like being in a city where you can't see past like the skyline. When you're hearing somebody describe something, it's like I'm hearing it, but I'm also feeling it. Like I can also feel what you're saying in addition to hearing it, and it's this social awareness that there's a different emotion than what you're feeling right now is like part of the way to get centered. Is like just the realization that there is a different way to feel this. Sort of is like it like transcends the emotion that you're experiencing, and I feel like that does something to the nervous system. It like it snaps it out of the stuckness of where you're at.
That's it. So on point, Scott. So empathy is actually a catalyst to slow ourselves down, to notice that whatever storm is happening inside of us, other storms, other flavors of storms exist. And feeling that flavor and my flavor, it grounds me. It gives me a sense of orientation, sense of, my reality is hard. Your reality is hard in a different way. And sometimes taking a tour of hard realities can make me a real person in a different way. So holding the spectrum of perspectives. So when I have people in my life that are genuinely experiencing something joyful, something safe, something whatever, I really want to know that story. I'm just like, I'm sitting down and listening with rapt attention. It's a little vacation from my realities. And this is the side effect of practicing a life on purpose, is that it doesn't feel like toxic positivity when somebody's sharing like a genuine amazing thing in their life. I really want to be present for that too. And it balances out the hard things also. And how sad I feel, how often people feel like, oh, I should not celebrate or be in my moment of joy or my moment of abundance because somebody in the world is in more scarcity than me. And how deeply I challenge that in people and say, like, if this is a genuine shift for you, I want to be there with you. Like, we all are on our wheel of life, and you are going to have terrible moments ahead too. But to prevent me from seeing this shift, this growing that you've done, and you've arrived in this place, that robs me. It's okay for you to bring something beautiful, and I can show up for that with the same passion as I show up when somebody's in a place of loss. Like, forever in my heart, I will remember Scott standing next to them Target and having this aha moment of, I don't get to be here because I don't know where one runs to. I will carry in my heart forever. And it gives an embodiment of a voice in me maybe I haven't discovered yet, but I've had that thought before. I've just never loved that thought the way I loved it when it came out of you.
I definitely, I think connecting with others through conversations like this is like a vehicle to connecting with myself also, because I know I personally have trouble in some scenarios understanding what it is I even felt like. So hearing what somebody else is going through and hearing them process it helps me as well, and it also helps me ground, like you said, because I can kind of leave my own like anxiousness or worry behind for a little bit, and whenever I actually focus on them, then I'm at like a better, it just like grounds or like centers me for some reason.
Lovely. That's it. Such goodness here. Okay, we're gonna shake it off a little bit and go in some worlds and see what we see. I have so many great concerning worlds, but I found some new ones that we're probably going to notice is mostly we're going to feel some laughter and recognizing the stories that could be told about these things. And as much as you can still be on your journey with your new friend concern and just listen deeply to it, please do that anyways. All right, so dropping portal to this one. And let's
Okay, I immediately see what this is.
So welcome to this world. Yeah, what's it feel like to be here and start to realize what role you're playing in this space?
Oh, the distance of our vocal like audio is set really low in this world. So like if we get 10 feet apart, we start to not hear each other.
Can't hear each other, yeah.
That's my concern. It's like I could lose people.
You can lose people even inside of a terrarium.
I like being small though.
That's true. Scott's like, this is not concerning. This is comfortable. I'm just a tiny mew.
Is
think-
there a way for someone to be the DJ and like be the human sized character outside of the terrarium?
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Mhm.
So your
I just saw a
instinct is to
notification.
escape and grow, right?
Yeah.
What I'm feeling, which is this is really interesting because I'm put in the perspective of like a frog
The
in a tank, where there's a DJ who's about to play really loud music and probably freak the frog out. And I might enjoy the DJ music, but I can feel concern for the frog that is the character I'm playing as in this world.
I'm wondering
is-
what that message, the DJ can hear you, keep popping up means. Like, it makes me think someone would be out there, and I'm considering this in the lens of a VR chat user who would set this up as a venue specifically for like, yeah, we're here to listen to music, and it's it's a different perspective where we're in a terrarium and the DJ plays outside. Like, that's what I'm thinking of, like, the intention of this world is, but I don't know how much the creator might have accidentally created an experience that is designed for like being trapped in a terrarium. Like, this might have been a cool idea. It's like, oh yeah, let's build it, and they did a great job, obviously. But there is quite a lot of these additional feelings of like, oh no, I'm learning a new perspective of being a tiny creature stuck in this trapped pet prison. And that kind of turning you around and realizing, like, do you know what your pets feel like when you shove them in a terrarium? And it's like, I've never been in their shoes before. Now I know.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, like, whenever joining, it kind of gives the feeling of my instant reaction would be like, this is as big as my world gets, and there's like a kind of panic that comes with that. Like, I feel like I've had nightmares that are similar of just like being trapped in an area or like a liminal space that doesn't make sense. Yeah.
But I love that Mary got into this. Is it hippograph?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a hippograph and was like looking up and trying to fly out. I've seen a lot of your heads are looking up, right? So, like, those are all signs of trying to rise above and identify the problem, identify the way out. Watching Scott continuing to body slam the invisible glass, and like there's this instinct to check the corners, check the escape routes, find a way through. Welcome to concern, turning into worry, right? So thank you for your empathy for the frog, watching how your head starts to try to map this strange experience and figure out the mind of the creator instead of just being here and going, huh, this is what it's like to be a frog right before a DJ set.
I think the other part that I feel about this is there might be a lack of fullness or fulfillment for the whatever creature has to live in this space, like if it has a certain need or want that isn't met by this space, that's where I feel like I'd feel like really sorry for that creature.
Oh yeah.
That's a really valid source of concern if you've adopted a pet and not knowing if that pet's needs are truly met.
Oh god, I fear that all the time.
Exactly. Yeah. Oof.
Okay,
And
I
feel
think I just noticed
sadness for
there's.
all the turtles in my childhood.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I'm noticing if you're standing next to the glass, it says the DJ can hear you. I'm
Oh.
fairly certain, like I am 90% certain that this world is designed to have a venue in this, and that someone actually plays DJ music up there in like the real human size, and they look down at all their little pets, and that they're partying and hanging out in the tank. And if you want to talk to them, you go up to the glass and bang out and go change the song, and then they listen. I'm fairly certain.
That
I
makes
bet
sense, yeah.
the host only has access to go up there, but I don't know who loaded in the world first. There might be a secret menu.
Yeah. And this is the frogdom is a way to comfort ourselves and believe someday God will exist and bring us all home as our froggy trapped selves. Right? That there was a real design that would release us from this sense of trappedness. This is how mythos
Oh
goes.
yeah, I don't think we would let us out. It would just be the idea that there'd be a real human standing over there to like play music for us.
Still mythos, right? We don't know.
Do we have to request songs in frog like Ribbit? Ribbit.
Maybe
Gotta
that's
give
what we
him the
sound
rhythm. That's right. Okay, next world. We're gonna go gray.
like. Ooh, yeah, this looks concerning.
Favorite this world already.
Have you been to this world?
No, this is a first, but I already really like what they're doing with the puddles there. It's like
Yeah,
how things
real
actually
blue
look.
sky. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, this is really good. I'm gonna save this too. I have more favorite slots.
I remember you taking me to this one before.
Ah, why did we come here? I'm trying to remember.
This could be for sadness.
I can see that. Yeah. There are many
Hold on,
routes.
my controller died.
Oh, okay. There are many routes. Okay, but that's kind of funny.
It's also concerning.
I keep my batteries over here. What do you want from me?
You're kind of
You're blinking, Professor. That was fantastic.
I don't even know what I did.
Yeah, that was such a great photo.
kind of a gravitational
planets.
pull.
Exactly.
Like there was a black hole that appeared over there.
That's right.
Oh.
All the planets got sucked in. That was great. Yeah, so this is a very simple space, and I've been here with people for different reasons. I still haven't found this space completely as medicinal as I believed it could be. I like to collect worlds like apothecarists might collect tinctures, and I try out different worlds for different moments as people share things to see what lands. It's a very simple space, right? And yet, I often encounter people in the world that to me feel like they're always in the gray box land, and they've stopped looking down. They've stopped believing there is another reality that they exist in. So they just kind of endlessly walk this journey. So
it's
my
a beautiful
concern,
representation of depression. Just like everything you see is gray, but there is a reflection of reality that if you pay attention to, it's like that's actually the real world.
yeah.
Actually, can I go? I'm gonna go on the floor. Hold on.
Yeah, there's
no,
nothing down there.
There's not actually anything under there.
Yeah.
It's all a
Yeah.
stencil shader. That's amazing. Oh, I love this world.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So now we're going to go even darker for a moment, where we get into concerns that made me so concerned. This is probably one of the first worlds I've ever joined that by the end of this world, I actually reached out to the creator. I was so concerned for them.
Oh, I think I know which one this is.
Yeah, you might have been here, but I've been here so many times. Every time I come through this world, first of all, she keeps updating it, so there's new shaders sometimes and different things.
Oh,
but
no, it's a different one. Okay.
oh,
Wow, this looks cool. Look at all those What's a BGM?
Background music.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I like the river on the ceiling. That's pretty trippy.
Scott, have you been here? Turn the world volume down.
Nope.
Oh wow, Mary, you've been
You
here,
know-
yeah?
Possibly. Like the style
you'd remember.
is familiar,
Mm.
and
I know,
these I
man.
feel like I've
Wow.
seen before. And actually, this
Okay.
wall, this kind of texture is familiar. So I might have visited a wall by the same creator. Well, actually,
They do have a lot of worlds like this. I will just say the themes in this world are concerning. So if you need to take a break and join us in the next world, or just ask us to pause and we won't go deeper because it gets darker the further we go.
I want to know
Yes.
what shader this river is. I'm thinking about using that in like
So,
the
Bro,
dot model
you
of-
are a world creator and you get so excited about the tricks. And my invitation is watch the trick, the light. You get to go in that place and follow your body also, and know that we're going down. This is a deepened space.
before we do that,
There.
I just want to acknowledge, kind of wish that I have, an impossible wish, to like dip my head up into this and drink some.
Exactly. Yeah. It's upside down. Oh, there you go. Bro got some.
Yeah, exactly like that.
So another thing to be aware of
Tastes
is
like
when I came into
sadness.
this tastes like tears. When I came into this world originally, there were not these many names on the world. And so just know that even from the expression that is a very concerning journey, community has grown.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Okay, let us descend.
Do we walk through the circles or?
I'm walking through every circle.
I'll walk through them. Yeah.
Amazing.
Wonder what that foreboding would be.
That feels actually like a palate cleanser kind of thing.
Exactly, yeah. I gotta take you to the chakra world and get through that. Exactly it. So there's many doors.
Oh, and it's got a fade out and fade in. That's nice. So it doesn't feel so sudden and jolt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this person likes rainbows.
Nobody recognizes this. This is such a signature. Oh, Scott went into the ball. That's cool.
You can go in
Yeah, this is
Just
collision.
pause here for a moment. You would remember this world if you'd been here, but it seems like nobody here has, which is so rare
Nope.
for me to get a fresh batch. What's it like to just be here? You walked up rainbow stairs and now you're in a
there.
place of shattering.
Yeah, I
It's definitely
Don't-
one of those very artsy things where it's like, okay, there's a lot to unpack here. The artist is definitely expressing a bunch of things that don't make me feel immediate reaction, so I have to stop and see what's happening. Like, I can see a laser through the head, which can represent a lot of things. Like, I don't know what the flowers mean, though.
What about what our investigative Mew mouse has found?
Oh, yeah, that definitely makes it less of a mystery.
Mm,
Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm.
Or even,
Very
this
beautiful.
is new for me to notice today, but the eye, I don't know, there's something about how that eye feels cracked and offset. It's like almost looking a different direction, just
Ooh.
with how it got broken.
Oh, that's why. There's another stage.
There's another stage, but I will tell you, I went from, oh, art, I love this, to, oh, shit, what's next?
Yeah.
We've got a bloody knife on the
Mhm.
ground. Here we go.
This,
Mhm.
this gives me the feeling of like a live internet. Like this should be appreciated. While we're here, there's like no, like, it's like, I don't know, being in a painting or something, or like somebody's personal art piece. I really like it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So let's
There's a-
go to the next door.
a really weird feeling being like this close and underneath. I feel like gives off the vibe of someone having a meltdown in front of you and you having to like receive that.
Face it. That's it. Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Your hands have blood in by going through this world. You are now part of the wound.
Or we're being invited to see more of the inside.
Invitation.
Ooh. There's a lot of arrows at least pointing us in directions. It's like, definitely go this way.
And this is an ascending arrow.
Yeah.
The symbols.
Oh, neat. Look at this.
So it's kind of saying find answers or something along those lines.
There are more frames. Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, I like the mirror on the ground.
Yeah.
Truly liminal.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
it
can't
does
walk
feel
out
liminal.
into the white void.
I'm trying to figure out
There's,
what this. Go on, Scott.
Oh,
cool vibe.
I feel like it's a world with a lot of subtext, and I noticed the world music is going from like note to note, and I'm almost wondering if like the notes like spell a word.
Oh yeah, it's
Oh.
like a SOS or something. That's a good question.
No, I never thought of music meaning like a message with the notes. That's interesting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was a. Oh, we'll carry on.
Ooh, Barry was talking.
There's a
Oh,
particular
boy.
Mozart song. I think it was Mozart
Nice.
that spells out a word if you read the notes.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
You know,
He
a
was
part of me is
very
like,
into mathematics. and that kind
We've
of
really
thing.
shifted colors here. Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's a
got very
part of me that
dark.
I want to diffuse the situation by making a joke about like, oh, these guys just need a hand, you know, just shake on
Yeah,
them, we'll be
they're
okay.
high-fiving us. Yeah, you want to
Yeah.
go to humor, right? Because
Smack. Yeah.
it's so uncomfortable to be smushed through somebody's hallway of reaching.
Oh yeah.
This definitely
Crowded.
feels like someone saying, "Help me."
Absolutely.
Come to me. Oh, look at the little Mew and the flowers. That's something. Sorry, say that one more time,
Little
Mary.
cute.
This feels like what?
Someone saying, "Help me."
Exactly. Right?
Yeah.
Or somebody saying, no matter how much people try to help me, all I want to do is run through. I can't grab anybody's hands.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the
This
little Mew
place.
and the daisies.
This
How do
place
you
makes me
feel,
want to like.
Perspective like down
I want to like run through this hallway with my arms out compared to how I just felt in
there.
there.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah, it lets you expand, right?
Yeah.
Let's do some
My-
frolicking, guys.
Exactly,
Yeah, it
the
makes-
Field of
I wanna
Daisies,
frolic.
right?
I must.
Y'all ever frolicked before?
So we seem to be moving up as we go through this space, and then down
Little
again.
There's a bit of it. A
Yeah,
ramp? Yeah.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
When I came into this part, I was like, okay, they finally found a medication that helped.
Yeah,
Sort of.
like it felt like some stage that's on the other side of like whatever pain that was. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
Although
a
I will
relief
say,
spot.
it's like, considering all the dark things we've seen, it's like, oh, a happy moment? Well, this isn't going to last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Profridor
I know
has
that.
predicted with concern.
Yeah. Oh, right. The intro picture. I always forget
Mm-hmm.
when I join a world and they frame a picture for what you see when you log in, and then you run into it and you're like, oh, right, that's what they featured before.
That's what they were telling you to go to.
Mm-hmm.
So a few things to note about this space is, if you don't recognize it, the song playing apparently is from, I think, The Legend of Zelda or something. It's from a very specific game, and it's during a very concerning part of the game. Very
I think
dark
it's-
part of
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's like a slowed down version of that song. I don't think this is the exact song. But yeah, it's definitely concerning. I like these butterflies though. Very beautiful with all the colors, the way
This
they
is-
glow.
Completely unrelated, but I really miss the jump in the
Very limited.
Armania.
Yeah, Armania.
level up.
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
Oh, there's a hand. Hello.
So,
Okay.
I don't
Yeah.
know why I can't completely explain this, but when I came into this world, the moment I saw this, I started sweating head to toe, and I was like, this person is about to die. And this is right before the death. And I was sure I was going to find signs of suicide if I moved further into the world. And then I came this way.
Yeah, the black tree gives me that vibe.
Yeah, could be. But I came this way looking at everything, and I found this.
Oh, yes. Lovely. Very direct.
Very direct. And then I looked up their username, and it literally is end. And I was like, are they still alive? I was so scared. And then even on the back of their shoes.
Will you? Oh, I didn't even see that. Dang.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So notice
See,
your
this-
bodies
This
before we go to the next spot.
This gives me relief with the world creator, because like seeing this feels like they're unconscious to the possibility of being helped, whereas this is saying, no, I recognize that that is also a way to heal, is reaching out.
A way to heal, no pun intended on the heel. Yes, and notice where the message is. It's not in their hands. It's not in their mind. It's not in the butterflies. It's on the bottom of their shoe, like a piece of gum. It is the part that they barely can endorse through their own body. So before I even went to the next part of this world, I actually did send a message to the world creator and tracked them down, because I was just so needing to make sure that I was going to be okay with whatever I learned at the next step. And they are alive. And if we ever have somebody who knows Japanese and I go on this tour, I will invite them. They're actually online in VR chat right now. But they don't speak English, so we had to communicate through Discord.
Oh, Geek has joined.
Geeknificent.
Yeah, I think Geek has been here with us before. They'll find us.
We'll have to go through all the other rooms. Should we?
All right, so we're gonna go to
Is there one more?
Yeah.
And this door is cocked.
Crooked. Yeah. Okay. The fish stuff is cool. And these faces, I was like, what is that face? They make that graphic. That's so cool. Lots of hands.
It's like wireframe, but broken up into segments.
Yeah, it's super stylistic. I can't figure out how this was made. That's very cool, but I'm trying to focus on what else there is.
Come back in your body for a bit. Have a seat.
I'll be gone first. Oh no.
Yeah. And I swear to you, when this world was originally created, there was actually a noose hanging down from here.
Geez.
But since then, it's gone. But I've met a couple other people who came here in the beginning, and they saw that also. So I'm not making
that would explain the chair better. I see now.
Yeah.
Hey, Geek.
Hi, Geek. Welcome. Nice to see you. We're in the middle of a live stream. We're just going to be finishing up. Oh, nice. Mary's in the chair.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're looking at the emotion of concern today and feeling our own concern grow as we move through these different stages. Leaky, how are you feeling right now?
I feel a lot better than I did in the last room, funny enough, only because for some reason it was just like a very large frame drop, so it was making me like a little dizzy. I had to like chill out in there. But here I just feel much better here, just because the scenery also looks really good, and it's just not as like choppy and jarring for me. Yeah.
Thank you.
So without
all the doors.
without knowing about the noose prior, I almost would have taken this as like reaching out for a helping hand or like a sign of hope.
It makes me feel like the hands are reaching for like the soul, and then I noticed all the hands up there have long fingernails, and they're kind of looking a little more evil.
Oh
like
yeah.
They're gonna take the soul away as it's being lifted out of someone who's trying to pull it back in, and they're like losing control of it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
We also have a hand that's pointing the other direction.
Oh, it's a cross. I didn't even see
It
the
is,
cross.
yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. So there's a lot of messages in this world, and to finish our hop, we're gonna go to a more neutral space to close out here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Have a landing place, take a deep breath, and learn what we learned. Home sweet home.
Ah.
Let's go.
Palate cleanser.
Mm.
Okay. Back to the original.
Hmm.
Oh. Guess we're... That's one way to teleport around. Huh. Yeah, guess I was already over here.
You were, yeah. Okay, we're gonna do our checkout around concern. Before we do that, I'm gonna do our little cheat so we get all of our environmental effects.
Scott's slowly walking over. Wow.
Ah.
The rocks, they lift.
They left. The music plays.
They're obviously
So-
reacting to the presence of the eldritch being.
Okay, so now first I'm gonna invite you to check your body, notice your breath, notice any tightness, any vibration. Even putting your hand on your heart, can you feel your heart beat?
I don't got one of those. I'm made of cloth.
Okay, no heartbeat for geek. And we've been on a journey today. We have deepened into concern and even got glimpses into the ultimate kinds of concerns around life and death and being the size of small frogs and feeling our humanness. And so as we go around, this is the end of April's concern month. We've different levels of engagement for each of you, but we've been contemplating this emotion for a month now. So this is a time to share whatever is true around what you hope you are taking away from learning about concern for you, and how that relationship might be the same as it always was, or how maybe it's going to change, or what you wish in building relationships with these very small comparative to the bigger ones that we'll be exploring this year, but a very important one. This is the yellow flag emotion. Something might be wrong very soon. So,
Not red yet, it's yellow.
it's a caution emotion. So who would like to check in first? What have you learned about concern? What is your commitment to understanding or being different with concern going forward?
I think today it definitely put into perspective there's so many aspects to it. Like, in one way, it can be a sign that there is something that needs your attention, or you know, especially depending on whether it relates to yourself or to somebody else, the way people approach concern starts to shift depending on what the focus of that concern is. Yeah, I think there's like a couple angles with it I'm still like mulling over for sure. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in our discussion, especially around some of the different emotions around concern and fear. Yeah.
Thanks, Leaky. Yeah, concern has company. There are other emotions that companion and shift the flavors of concern.
I feel like one thing I took away and kind of realizing in hindsight is that concern is a very personal emotion about patterns you've seen before in your life that you recognize again, and what might be concerning to one person might not be to another, as it's like your sensitivity to pick up on something that's changed that you feel like could lead to a worse outcome. That spark of like a prairie dog lifting its head, it's like there's a like an initial moment of, oh, that means something, and my human brain likes to categorize and make things mean things to me, and that means something is going to happen. And to sit with that emotion is to reflect on all of those experiences and try to come away with, you know, your personal perspective to what might be a more objective experience, and to kind of like confide in yourself to realize if something is worth being concerned over, or maybe it was something you misheard and it's like, oh, maybe it actually isn't that bad. But to try and recognize and to label, oh, I am feeling concern. Is this accurate? Where is this going? And did I hear that right? Or witness that right? And so on.
Thank you, Fro.
Yeah.
My knowledge, as you say that, also activates around in a position of leadership. When I say I feel concern about something, because I'm in a power up position, even if I say the words, I feel concern, you might not know that emotion different from worry or judgment, because many times we use emotions to kind of preface something that we're not actually in the emotion when we say it, or we're in a different emotion. So we can confuse each other quite a bit. But saying I feel concern in a leadership position can come across as I feel worried or I feel judgment towards you, just because my power position will amplify it like a megaphone. Even if I don't feel it as a permanent state, you are a concerning person, whatever, that power up position can make it feel much more serious than it is inside of me. So I get to keep remembering when I feel concerned that how I express that concern and how much I preface it with curiosity, with trust, with social capital that I'm building can reduce the inflammation of conveying that information. It's a feeling, and what we're learning to practice with each other is how to name emotions and not necessarily even immediately name the story of how that emotion is connected to me or you. It's okay to just say, I feel worried, and people go, oh, I don't know what I'm worried about. I just feel worried. I'm looking at everything and I'm just feeling worried. Or I feel guilty. I don't know what I feel guilty about, but I feel confusion and guilt, but I'm just there. And it's okay for us to like witness each other's emotions and not fix them or try to even understand them. Just be with them. That's a part we miss many times. Learning to just let the emotion exist and know that it'll tell us its secrets when it's ready. Who else?
Definitely.
Hmm. That took forever. Just trying to find my heart emojis.
I suppose I could go. I have a couple of reflections. One I think I spoke about in an earlier event, just an awareness of how I think each individual, kind of building from what Professor said about each having their own personal experience and feeling concern for different reasons, but we also feel that we expect a certain level of concern to exist within a room, and if others don't express the concern that we expect, then we end up taking that role, and vice versa. If someone else is expressing concern, then we feel it a bit less. And
That's it.
Just
Yeah.
appreciating that, but also what was my second thing? That I feel like for me, concern and worry are some of the harder emotions for me to sit with. And, rather than try to soothe them somehow.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, something I've also noticed in a role of supporting people who are marginalized, especially intersectionally marginalized, is in general, they will enter spaces with more concern. And I mean me at times when I hold those intersectional identities that make me more targetable or marginalizable. So people will often treat them like, oh, you're being paranoid, you're being too negative. And I used to think like, oh, well, I just need to like help them have such a good time they can't feel that worry or concern. But eventually I started to realize that when I took on that emotion for them and I came into rooms like I'm a bouncer and I'm scanning everybody skeptically and I'm looking, who's the person most likely to target my friend? What I started to see was, without any conversation ahead of time, the person who was used to being pretty tight and worried and whatever would chill out, and they'd, sit back and they'd like get loud and whatever. And I'm sitting there and going, wow, they're having such a good time and I'm getting an ulcer in my stomach. How did this happen? But I started to realize how much their whole life nobody had carried that for them, that space, awareness of, out of nowhere they will be poked, they will be bitten, they will be pushed down. And when I took that on very consciously, it gave them a bubble and they could be like, this is great, I love this place. And they could get bigger and take up space and not have to be holding that. And so since I realized that, I've taught a lot of people who are married or in relationship to somebody who is intersectionally marginalized, how to actually take on that paranoia, that fear that is appropriate, but take it on as an ally ahead of time, and practice juggling that with your companion so that neither of you is in that vigilance role the whole time necessarily, but a way to guardian and recognize that when somebody's feeling that fear, we just want them to feel less fear. We don't realize how much we can actually hold that fear with them so their nervous systems can be in a calmer state. And when we feel fear on purpose out of caring for somebody, it's a very different kind of energy than just feeling trapped. There's a love in that fear. Yeah. Thank you. Scott, would you like to share? And if you don't, that's okay too. It's up to you.
No problem. I really enjoy exploring these things together, and I think my share would be more like the personal relationship with concern. I think maybe I leapfrog concern into fear, and I don't really have like a in between. Like so many scenarios at work where like these policies get decided and implemented outside of like any awareness, and like you just find out when like you're expected to do it, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna go great. And you know, without the influence, like you just have to wait for it to hit a brick wall, and then the discussion like opens up to like what could be better. And it's like I could have expressed these concerns ahead of time, but companies don't operate like that. So I just feel like concern isn't like a luxury I've ever had. It's always like straight to the problem that you might have been concerned about.
You don't get to be in the ambiguity of this might be a problem. You already see it so quickly. You just have to wait for it to manifest so everyone else feels how much it's a problem.
Yeah, and maybe that's a lens I need to work on.
Thanks for being here, Geek.
Oh yeah,
see
take
you.
care, Geek.
Yay.
I'm glad you found us.
You will.
Yeah, I think maybe that's a relationship with like hypervigilance that I probably could. Well, I guess I shouldn't say I am working on, but to varying degrees of success, because I feel like I see the problem and then I'm preparing for it because of the certainty, and I don't think that's concern. I think that's like more like fear.
Yeah, the conviction, right? You got some judgment in that. Yeah, the luxury to be confused. That feels like a chapter title. That sometimes our nervous systems get so wired to focus on a thing to fix. We don't really get to just be in the like, I don't get it. And that's okay. And that there's a resting place in knowing something's wrong and knowing we don't understand it. And can we give ourselves that spot to belong? Can we slow it down? Can we be with the beautiful smaller emotions of going, yeah, these two things are true, and how do I preserve the space to just not know, not be sure, not try to make it make sense, just be with it and breathe with it. Come back here to human. I'm having to do that a lot right now. Yeah, go ahead, Nikki.
It's so easy to feel like an emotion is some like problem to be solved if it's a more negative leaning emotion too, instead of just sometimes I have to like tell myself before I can even like process like why I'm feeling the way I feel, I need to just like, I don't know, sometimes I need to feel sad for a little bit, because if I don't give myself that time when I'm in my own safe space, like it's going to be even worse when I'm out in the world where, we can be more expected to like put up a front and like all these barriers with other people. So, yeah, it's so important in my opinion. Absolutely.
Thank you, Nikki. Yeah. I really like what you said about that pause of grief, that pause of sadness. When you said it, I actually, for a moment, had this flash to all the little spores in the air and them just kind of like falling like stars straight towards the ground really slowly, and seeing them all land for a moment and feeling the stillness of the empty air and all the fading sparks on the ground, and just being with that, and that not enoughness, that the party's over. The party can't hold itself in the sky right now. And that is also a nervous system closing. That is a like landing with the loss. Yeah. Well, I have, every time I lead these pieces, I always learn something new. Some treasured memories for me was hearing I think the Australian and the British person talking about how concern must be met with a cup of tea. I appreciated that. I appreciated seeing the art pieces of concern in week 1. Those images have stuck with me. I appreciated the Mary's music hop and the way we traveled through that, the concern of it. I missed the video hop, but I appreciated how panicked I felt when I realized I was missing it. I had concerning things happening in my physical reality, and then to see people hanging in there and holding space for each other through a hard moment, that was really lovely. So part of me was like, something's wrong. I'm not where I'm supposed to be. And I'm listening to a mom and child scream almost violently at each other across the way, and realizing I'm not going to be able to be present while I'm feeling this conflict. And yet still seeing the people in this community care for each other and stick around extra and really listen. So there are places, I've gotten to sit with concern and say, something can be wrong and also really right at the same time. Both can be true. Even in the dissonance. So thank you for being part of that journey for me this week. And this month, actually. It is a totally new thing for us to explore, one hard emotion per month. There's part of me that's like, will we make it through the year? It just gets harder from here. These emotions are intense. But yeah, as long as we keep building islands where we get to move away from them when we need to, this is probably for many of you the first time you've ever approached these emotions like creatures in a forest, like get to know them and not see them as just hunting you down and stealing your life away from you. This is energy and motion. It's the currents that tell us how we're connected to each other in our own bodies and our planet and the rhythms of our lives. And thank you for being explorers with me on this ride.
I feel like the sun coming up soon was very perfectly timed with you finishing it off like
Sunrise
that.
again. So.
Yeah.
I planned it that way. Plan all along. Yeah, well, let's get a picture with the sun at our backs, and this will be the end of our time today. Look at that beautiful sun.
And the birds
All right,
come out
3.
at the same time.
Exactly. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Concern. Or whatever your word is.
Unhappy.
Sun.
Unhappy. Concern. That's right.
Worry. Anxiety.
Worry. Judgment. Unintuitive. End day. Yeah. Aw. Some good pictures.
Hedgehog.
So,
I saw one today.
Hedgehog. Oh, that's great. I like that one. Hedgehog.
Toad. Frog.
Hedgehogs are so concerned. So next month is confusion. Get ready to not understand anything we are doing here. Join us. Become a helper today.
You should send mixed messages when you're hosting the events.
That's
just
right. I'm
constantly.
like, we're doing concern. I mean frustration. I
look.
mean irritation. What am I missing? Oh, the ball came. Hello, ball. Goodbye, ball.
Welcome back.
Get out of here,
Dodgeball.
appreciation.
That's right. We don't appreciate. We are confused. So
Why did I throw that ball? I don't know.
that's right. There you go. That's